The Las Vegas Strip is pulling in record billions, but right now, 6 casinos are quietly circling the drain, and the people who run them know it. Circus Circus alone sits on some of the most valuable real estate in America, yet its parent company has been stripping it for parts while they wait for the right moment to pull the plug. So, if even the most iconic names on the Strip are not safe, which casino are you going to walk into one day and find gone forever? The Las Vegas Strip is on a historic run. Last year, casinos pulled in over $7 billion. Hotels are packed. Concerts are sold out. Everywhere you look, cranes are building something new and bigger. From the outside, it looks like nothing could ever go wrong here. But walk a little further, past the bright lights, past the crowds spilling out of the sphere. Keep walking until the noise gets quieter and the sidewalks get emptier, and you will start to see it. Faded signs, half-empty parking lots, casino floors that feel more like a hospital waiting room than a place where dreams are made. The glamour stops, and something older and sadder takes its place. Right now, 6 casinos on or near the Strip are in serious trouble. Not rumor trouble. Not maybe someday trouble. Real trouble. The kind that ends with a demolition crew and a press release. Some of them are bleeding money every single month. Some are owned by companies that have already given up, quietly waiting for the right deal to walk away clean. And one of them, the most obvious one, sits on 69 acres of prime Las Vegas land and has been left to rot in plain sight for years. Circus Circus opened in 1968. At its peak, it was one of the most visited resorts in the entire world. Families lined up around the block. The pink and white Big Top was one of the most recognizable buildings in America. Today, its parent company, MGM Resorts, has written it off. They tried to sell it. The deal fell apart. And since then, almost nothing has been invested back into the property. So here's the real question. If a casino that famous, that big, and that visible can quietly fall apart, which ones are next? Before we get to the list, you need to understand how casinos actually die, because it does not happen the way most people think. It is not one bad weekend. It is not one viral complaint. It is a slow bleed, a quiet unraveling that starts years before anyone puts up a closed sign. The Fontainebleau taught Las Vegas a brutal lesson. That resort cost $3.7 billion to build. It had 67 floors, nearly 4,000 rooms, marble floors, and 42-foot ceilings in the casino. It was supposed to be the most luxurious resort ever built on the Strip. It sat empty and dark for 14 years. Not because it was ugly, not because nobody wanted it. It died the first time because of bad debt, bad timing, and a location that put it too far from where the crowds actually walked. Even a building that looked perfect from the outside could not survive those 3 things at once. That is the first way casinos die: location. The Strip has a beating heart, and it runs roughly from the Bellagio to the Wynn. That stretch is where the foot traffic lives. That is where tourists wander in off the sidewalk and spend money without even planning to. The further you get from that center, the harder everything becomes. You have to work twice as hard to get people there. And if your rooms are old, or your prices are high, or your carpet smells like 1987, they are not coming back. The second killer is debt. Las Vegas runs on borrowed money. That is fine when the economy is strong and the rooms are full. But when interest rates rise, or a deal falls apart, or a company decides it wants cash instead of a struggling casino, the math turns ugly fast. Owners stop reinvesting. Renovations get pushed back a year, then 2 years, then forever. The building starts to show its age, and the guests start to notice. The third killer is the newest one. Younger gamblers do not want what their parents wanted. They want experiences, They want good food, live music, nightclubs that feel current, and a hotel room that looks like something they would post online. An old casino with sticky floors and a buffet that has not changed since 2003 is not just unappealing to them, it is invisible. They scroll right past it when booking their trip. That is how casinos die. Slowly, then all at once. And right now, 6 of them are already deep into that process. Now let us get to the list. Circus Circus sits at the very top, and it is not even close. Stand outside it today, and you will see a giant pink and white tent that used to make kids lose their minds with excitement. Walk inside, and you will find something that feels more like a time capsule than a resort. The carpets are worn. The arcade is half empty. The casino floor feels hollow. MGM Resorts, which owns the property, tried to sell it in 2020 for $825 million. The buyer walked away when the pandemic hit. Since then, MGM has made no serious effort to renovate it. They are sitting on 69 acres of some of the most valuable land in Nevada, waiting. The property is not being invested in. It is being preserved just enough to stay open while the right demolition deal gets made. Second on the list is the Tropicana. It closed in April 2024 after 67 years on the Strip. The building is being torn down to make room for a new baseball stadium. The Tropicana matters here because it shows exactly what the end looks like. Attendance had been falling for years. The rooms felt dated. The casino floor kept shrinking. Then, one day the owner decided the land was worth more than the resort. That is the same math being done right now on several other properties. Third is the Sahara, which was rebranded as SLS, and later rebranded again as simply Sahara Las Vegas. It has changed names 3 times in 10 years as it tries to find an identity. Occupancy remains well below Strip averages. The casino floor is quiet on nights when properties 2 miles south are completely packed. Rebranding without real reinvestment is just rearranging the chairs. The fourth is the Strat, sitting at the very far north end of the Strip, almost completely cut off from foot traffic. Its observation tower still draws curious tourists, but usually only once. They rarely come back to gamble. Fifth is Bally's, currently undergoing a conversion. The transition has been messy and slow, leaving guests confused about what the property even is anymore. And the most surprising name on this list, the one that shocks most people, is a resort most visitors would assume is completely safe. A property with a famous name, a prime location, and a parent company drowning in over $4 billion in debt, cutting costs in ways guests are already noticing. That casino is coming in Act 4. The name that surprises everyone is Caesar's Palace. Not the whole company, the specific property. Caesars Entertainment carries more than $12 billion in total debt across its portfolio. That number is not a typo. And the way heavily indebted companies survive is by cutting, quietly, carefully, in ways that are hard to notice at first. Caesars has already reduced housekeeping frequency. Loyalty program benefits have been quietly trimmed. Some restaurant outlets inside the property have closed without announcement. Veteran employees have been replaced with cheaper, less experienced staff. These are not random decisions. This is a company managing a debt load so heavy that every dollar saved in operations is a dollar that goes toward keeping the lights on at the corporate level. Caesar's Palace itself is still beautiful. The Forum shops still gleam. The pools are still impressive. But beauty does not pay down $12 billion. And when a company is stretched that thin, properties do not get sold because they are failing. They get sold because the land and the brand name are worth more as a transaction than as a daily operation. That moment may still be years away, but the signs are already there for anyone paying attention. Here's the bigger truth that all 6 of these casinos point to. Las Vegas has always been a city that eats its own past. The Dunes is gone. The Sands is gone. The Stardust is gone. The Riviera is gone. Every single one of them was once packed with people who could not imagine it ever closing. Every single one of them was eventually replaced by something newer, shinier, and more profitable. That is not a tragedy. That is just how this city works. The Strip does not keep things out of loyalty or nostalgia. It keeps things that make money. The moment a property makes more sense as a parking lot or a stadium or a new tower than as a running casino, the decision has already been made. The press release just has not been written yet. So the real question is not whether these 6 casinos are in trouble. They are. The question is which one closes first and what gets built in its place. Leave your answer in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives into the real story behind Las Vegas, subscribe now, because there is a lot more coming that you will not want to miss.